Hello friends, welcome to my channel Together with Abhi. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the functionalities provided by AWS S3, which is static website hosting. So please note this is for static website and not dynamic website. So by static website, we mean only functionalities which are client side related and no server side mechanism is there. Okay, so only the static content can be hosted. So let's see how this can be done. Let's get started. First thing to note is I am an administrator account. We have to go to services. Within storage, click on S3. The first thing we have to do is create a bucket. So we are going to create a bucket with name something like www.togetherwithabhi.com. Doesn't matter, but because you will have to anyway set up a DNS name. Okay. Please choose a region specific to your needs. Again, we are blocking all public access as of now. Let's create a bucket. Once the bucket has been created, we would first need to go to properties, because within properties lies the functionality to enable static website hosting. In this tab for static website hosting, we are going to check this box, and as you can see, it requires two documents. One is index, the other is error document. The purpose of index document is whenever your website is going to be hit, this is the page which is going to be hit first. Okay, and in case of any error, if in case no page is found, it is going to go to error.html. Okay, also please note there is at the top they have provided the endpoint. This is the URL of your website. Okay, we can DNS map this website later, but as of now just let's see how this website can be assessed. Okay, so let's save this information, and I already have created the two documents, index and error.html. Let's see how they look. In index.html, as you can see, I just have created a title, certain header and a paragraph, very simple. And in error.html, again, very simple message. It's an error page and something has been messed up. Okay, now let's go and upload these documents. We will go to overview. Within that, we are just going to upload these two files. On second thoughts, let's set up the permissions first. We will go and enable the public access. For that, we are going to uncheck this block all public access. This will allow my website to be accessed by public. Now, the second thing that we are going to do is bucket policy. As I mentioned to you earlier, at bucket level, there are two mechanisms of handling access. One is bucket policy, the other is access control list. So let's do it by bucket policy. Let's generate a policy. We go to policy generator, select type of policy. We will choose S3 bucket policy. What we are going to do, we are going to allow everyone. So star represents everyone. Any anonymous user is allowed. The effect is allowed, and the action that we are going to use is we are going to search for get object. So we want that the user, anonymous user, should be able to read my object, just the read permission. So the REST API call for that would be a get. So we allow a get object. Amazon resource name. So this is something you can find from this. It represents Amazon resource name, the resource name from to which you want to allow the access. Let's add a statement. So in effect, it says everyone is allowed to have get object done on the resource name represented by ARN as given below. Now let's go and generate the policy. Let's copy this policy, and we are going to paste this policy within the bucket policy tab. Now I believe this is going to throw some error. Let's save it, and I'm sure yes, it says action does not apply to any resource because we have not provided any resource. So within this bucket, what is the resource? Every resource within this bucket as of now. Okay, because we want object access. This represented just the bucket. Okay, now let's go and upload the two documents that we had created, the index and error.html. We are going to upload these two documents. and everything is set. Now we just have to hit our website on the endpoint which was mentioned at this location. We are going to copy it and we are going to open it. As we can see, the website has been hosted. We can access the index page at the endpoint. If in case we give some HTML which is not valid, it throws the error. Okay, so it goes to error.html on having some page which is not accessible. Okay. So the next thing, I'm going to direct you towards how logging can be achieved. We are not going to do this exercise entirely, but I'm just going to show you how you can do it. So firstly, you need to create another bucket. Let's name this bucket something like logs.together with abhi.com. The purpose of creating a different bucket is the earlier website, our static website, it holds public access. We do not want public to have access to our logs, so we are going to create an entirely new bucket. Okay. Firstly, let's create the bucket and then we go back to our together with abhi.com website. Within its properties, there would be a server access logging, and within that we are going to enable the logging. So it will ask you in which bucket do you want two logs to be created. We give the bucket as logs.together with abhi.com and we provide the folder as logs. So now within this logs bucket, within a log folder, our logs will start getting generated. But we are not completing this exercise because it takes around 2 hours for logs to get generated. Similar fashion, we are going to create another bucket. The purpose of creating this bucket, we are going to name it together with abhi.net, and I just want to show you how you can do redirection to another website. Okay, so let's say we have created this bucket. Okay, and I want, if anyone comes to this bucket, okay, this is also hosted as a website. Okay, but if in case someone comes to this URL together with abhi.net, it is redirected to the content of together with abhi.com. So you have to go to static website hosting, but now you have to select redirect request and give the target bucket name as together with abhi.com. So .net website will be able to redirect to .com website. It requires some more settings. We are not going to do that because it requires DNS mapping, routing, etc., which we will cover in subsequent videos when we come to routing module. But as of now, I just wanted to give you an idea. Now let's get back to terminal. We haven't tried API commands as yet, so let's try to delete everything, clean up everything using API commands or CLI. Okay, so let's get back to our CLI and let's check if in case we have configured everything correctly. We did it last time, but just to verify, yes, our credentials are set up. So we can run the commands. The first command is AWS S3LS. It is just going to list down all the buckets. So all our three buckets are visible here. Next command is AWS S3LS and we want to check the objects within a bucket. Okay. So we will just give the bucket name. It is going to list us all the objects. It is not a very pretty format to look at, 165 280 what it represents, so make it human readable. We will give tag for human readable, and now it shows 165 bytes and 280 bytes, so it is a bit better for human reading. The next command that we are going to try is, let's start deleting things. So AWS S3 and we will remove a file. Okay, we want to remove error.html. The path to error.html is given as s3 and this is the format. This is how we give the path to an object within a bucket. Okay, so this is going to remove my object which is error.html. There is another way of removing everything. We could have just done it recursively. Whatever exists within this bucket, just remove all the objects. So it has removed. We can just go and verify that. Okay, the other thing, so now you can see there is nothing. Let's try to remove this bucket altogether. Okay, so for that there is AWS S3 API delete bucket. Please note there is a difference between S3 API and S3. Okay, one is S3 API command, the other is S3.
S3 represents higher level commands and S3 API are closer to the way API has been configured. In this way, providing this command delete bucket for S3 API, we can just delete all the buckets that we have created so far. I again emphasize on this point, there are two levels. One is S3, the other is S3 API. Okay, we can use higher level commands on S3. For lower level commands which are closer to the API, the way it has been written in the JSON models, we use S3 API. So now we can go back and check. The page doesn't exist because the buckets do not exist. So you see everything has been cleared up. We have deleted the objects which emptied the buckets, and now the buckets have been deleted. So that's all for today. I hope you learned how to create static website, do logging, and a bit of redirection. I just have given you a direction guidance how to do it. As always, if you like the video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time.